Okay, so we are going to open things up to the audience in just a moment. We'll sort of continue from where we left off yesterday with a few questions that have been prepared by our amazing guest board, Adam Rock. Can you explain to us the process of reviewing a game for your show and just how much work goes into this sort of thing?
Did you say reviewing?
Reviewing, yes.
Sorry, we've got Mario Kart blaring behind us, so everything is going to be slightly
difficult to hear. Yes.
The process of reviewing a show, reviewing a game for our show. Yeah. Oh, firstly, who here doesn't know who we are?
Hands up if
that's right. Well, we host a video game show on the ABC called Spawn Point, and we do stories about video games and gaming culture, and we review video games. And we review games as well. Well, should I go first about my process?
It seems like you are going first.
Oh, when we get a game to review, you know, we all kind of divvy up the games in the office, and one of us is always like lead on a game, and we will play that game the most, and then we kind of swap the games and play them and talk about them, and then we write scripts. So I will sync depending on the game. If it's like a small game, you know, you can kind of spend a day with it and understand the game completely. But sometimes longer games take a few days, so you kind of play as much as you need to. And as I play, I write heaps of notes, and I'm capturing pretty much everything I do in the game. And then I'll write like a base script and talking points, and then we'll work on that in like a script read and a meeting. And then after we've shot the review, I'll go through and I'll log all the footage that I've captured to specific points in the review and hand it on to the editor, and then the editor edits it, and then it gets signed off by me, and then signed off by our series producer, and then our executive producer, all the different chains, and then it goes through a sound mix, and all the sound gets mixed, and that's the whole process basically, and then it goes on the internet.
That's pretty much it. I have nothing to add.
It's as simple as that, and kids, you can do that yourself.
But I guess that's a technical process, but the thought process, I mean, maybe you guys can elaborate on that. For me, I like to think about like what worked, what didn't, what they were trying to achieve with the game, what I really liked, what was new, and how does it compare to other games in the genre, I guess.
I personally like to play a game and get a general feeling and a vibe of it, and use that as kind of my baseline. And after I have a feel of whether I like it or not, I start to dig into that more and start to get more critical about it and look at what works, what doesn't, why do you like it, why don't you like it, and then also look contextually as well. I think that can be really important. So obviously a game that is made, you know, for something in particular, so made to be a short experience, it's going to be very different to a game that's made to be very big, and you have to look at it in that context and say, well, does it achieve what it set out to do as well?
I agree with both your answers.
Thanks.
I get, money comes into fact as well. Like with a shorter experience, sometimes.
Well, how much they pay us?
How much they pay us? No, how much? No, we didn't get paid anything. We're government funded. It depends on like if the game, you know, if it's a short experience but it's $30, you have to kind of like readjust and go, okay, well, was that a valuable experience? I personally really like short games now. Maybe it's because I'm getting a bit older and I don't have as much time to play everything.
Games.
So short games are great. Like a 4-hour game, I know I can smash that out in an evening and have a like fully rounded experience. But something like Mass Effect Andromeda, I will never finish that game. There is not a chance. It is just too big.
Andromeda wasn't that long.
I know, but it's too big for like because I have to do everything, and it's too big for how enjoyable the game is as well. But even like anything over 25-30 hours now, I'm like, it's just a little bit too much.
It's funny that it is sometimes our job. So if we get a game that we really like and we're reviewing it, we're playing it for a long amount of time, you'll come into the office the next day and you'll have bags under your eyes, and it's like tough day. It's like I just had to play it all night. It was 4 in the morning. I finally put the controller down, and then you're like, hang on, if that's the worst thing I have to do at work, then I got to consider myself pretty lucky. So we take it all with a grain of salt. We're being critical, but at the same time, we're still letting ourselves have fun with the game, or when we can.
What's the longest number of hours you put into a review of a game?
It would be Breath of the Wild that we reviewed earlier this year. I did that review with you, so I probably played the most because I stole the Switch in the office and I just sat in the room with the lights off and I played it in the office.
He played it in the office, and like I think you were there till 10 at night, quite a lot of
later than that, but I set mood lighting and I got a little comfy couch. So yeah, if there's something we like, it's hard to put the controller down and not give it a 5 out of 5. You've got to be critical at the same time. So it is a process.
I think the one that I put the most hours into was Portal Knights.
Oh yeah. You love Portal
really
Knights,
got into that game. It was lots of fun. Yeah.
It's this beautiful like Minecraft-esque kind of game, but it's kind of.
But it's kind of like.
Sorry.
It's like kind of RPG elements to it as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Portal Knights has really got a really satisfying feel to everything. Like it's good to see Minecraft clones that are not a clone. Like they're trying to do their own thing. Because Minecrafting is a genre now. I think for me, maybe DayZ is the most hours, or maybe one of those big MMOs like Guild Wars 2, but I'd put hundreds and hundreds of hours into DayZ, I think, before we even wrote about it. I think maybe.
It's hard to draw the line sometimes, but we do it. We've got to do it because, you know, lots of jobs.
There is a point there, like, just lastly, like, you reach a point where it's like, if I put another hour, 100 hours into this game, I'm not going to learn anything new about it. I'm just doing it just for fun.
You can write a play guide afterwards. You've been covering a lot of live events lately. Has there been a bigger push to cover events such as RTX and E3?
I don't think there's been a bigger push. I think that it's like we've always covered gaming culture in general, and I think that conventions are a part of that, and they're a great part of that, and every convention is slightly different. But I do also think that it does get to a point where it can be hard to cover them and do them justice, because part of what is special about them is being there and seeing it, and that can be really hard to get across, and it can be hard to find the story thread of what you're actually going to put together in the piece. So I do think that we're probably covering them slightly less, like we don't cover all of them. But I also think that there is such great value into going to them, and you find things that you wouldn't necessarily otherwise find. So for example, I did GX earlier this year, and there's an amazing little Aussie-made game called Paperbark that I found at that convention that I hadn't heard of before, and then from that, and I fell in love with it, and from that we went down to Melbourne earlier this month to shoot something with them for another story later on, and it's just like it all links together, and it's a huge part of being part of the wider gaming community, which I think is really important.
I agree. Summed it all.
Awesome. One last question before we open it up to the audience. Can you tell us a bit about the different platforms that you present Spawn Point on, such as iView, YouTube, and ABC, and how that content differs from one platform to another?
It's about our platform. It's how we deliver the show now. Gus, do you want to talk about our new format this year?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if anyone's seen, we split up our show on iView and the ABC Me app, and so we now do daily deliverable videos, which is great because it gives us a chance to have fresh content each day, which is how I think a lot of people now watch any of their sort of any video media. You watch stuff on YouTube, you see daily updates. So we now have to split that up. It's an interesting little thing. It puts us in a strange scenario that we like to have an episode where something we say at the start of the episode might pay off at the end of it, and we have a bit of a through line. So we used to do that as traditional TV, but now with this new format, we are finding it's a little more difficult to do that. But it's a really fun place to be because we have to change what we do, and that actually just helps us from getting not bored, but getting complacent in what we make. So we have to make things smaller, self-contained, and a little punchier. It's interesting for us because it keeps us on our toes. It keeps what we make hopefully feeling fresh, and I think it's only going to be more and more into the future. This is how content is delivered. People want things on demand. They want shorter, more. They want the review score straight up the front. They want that story to be really short and punchy. So
talk about Scoop a little bit as well.
Yeah, because we've started doing that at the start of the year. We do a little self-contained show, which was just us having fun, called Spawn Point Scoop, which we shoot in a little room, and we have an intro, an outro, a news story, and it's just a fun environment to make short-form content, which is again what you're seeing a lot more of on YouTube and stuff like that. And I think there's a real future in it. I think it's sad in one sense because old TV is not what it used to be, but there's this exciting new way to watch Let's Plays and first impressions and have quick interviews and more natural, less scripted discussion, which is terrifying because scripts make things really safe and friendly, but it's fun to just talk off cuff occasionally because you just keep talking, you don't stop, which is what I tend to do, and I'm doing it right now, I think, so I'm going to pass it on to Red.
Quick aside, there's one of the apes from the Planet of the Apes that is very real in your mind.
There's a good God. Sorry, it's the new Planet of the Apes films. It's more of a documentary in my mind because that's what's going to happen.
Although I'm super scared of people in costumes, so please don't come over here. Please don't, I'm not even kidding.
That is the best gorilla walk I've ever seen. It's like, well, okie doke.
Well, don't mind if I do.
So things are going to change and are going to continue to change, and we're hoping to change with it.
I guess the reasoning behind that is really that how people are watching stuff now. Everybody wants to watch stuff when they can watch it and on whatever device they watch it, which is like the main driving force why we're kind of doing a lot more segmented content now, right? Like people want to, especially younger gamers, they want to just grab a tablet and watch something on a tablet or on their phone, and trying to find a time to tune in on the weekend is a tricky thing. But a lot of them are still doing that, so it's an interesting time for how people watch stuff.
It's
What a
exciting.
time to be alive.
Well, seriously, it's quite exciting because, you know, we'll get a challenge, and one thing our team has always really done well at is adapting to that change, or those, I call them ABC hoops that they make us jump through. So I'm looking forward to seeing what hoops they put in front of us, and if we clear them.
They're fun hoops.
They're fun hoops.
They're fun type of hoops.
I've lost the metaphor now. I've fallen apart.
Let's go to the next question.
Next question. Well, that
That
might
could be
be
a slam dunk. Okay, so now we're bringing up to you lovely audience. What I'll do is,
Yes.
the feedback is real. I'm treating this speak with extreme caution.
So guys, if you've got a question about anything to do with the show, games, or not even that, just something you've been dying to ask, feel free to put your hand up and we'll send the man in the suit around. Far away.
Other than Spawn Point, are there any other shows that you guys are working on?
Good question.
I just filmed something very special with ABC Me that I can't talk too much about yet, but it will be coming out later this year, and it's not a show, I think it's like a one-piece thing, but I'm very excited about it and I can't wait to talk more about it.
Brad, did I hear you possibly rapping in rehearsal for it? Maybe. It may have a little musical element to it.
A little the old razzle dazzle.
Well, it was enough for me to put my headphones on at work because it was driving me a little mad, but I'm sure it'll be great.
I'll make sure I wrap around you more then.
More than
that
usual.
sounded different than I meant it to.
That sounded weird.
Anyway, carrying on.
I'm doing a few other things at the moment. I write a children's series with my old co-host, old mate Hex, and we're doing a series of 8 books called Pixel Raiders, and that's a lot of fun. It's a new kind of thing to do, so it's quite challenging and exciting, and we're loving how the books are looking. And the 4th one comes out in February, I think, next year, which we just finished off. And along with that, I'm doing a lot of Twitch at the moment. I'm really enjoying Twitch. It's a really fun, beautiful community out there, and they're all tuning into my nonsense, which is a wonderful thing and surprising at the same time.
Can I quickly plug your book? Because I've been reading them,
Sure.
the Pixel Rated books. Has anyone read any of the Pixel Rated series that Barjo and Hex have been writing? Yeah. So I implore anyone, it's for younger gamers, but for older ones, I've been reading them, but maybe that's because I have a personal link with Barjo, because I know specific parts that he writes. So you'd be reading a chapter and it's all really lovely and descriptive, and then suddenly there's like 3 fart jokes back to back, and I just picture Barjo sitting there in his study writing them and laughing quietly to himself.
He says on a keyboard sometimes.
Okay, yeah, sorry, not writing with a quill, but yeah, when you get to all the fart jokes, that's his speciality. So
That's what I bring to the project.
that's for all ages, guys. Next question. Someone.
Put your hand up if you have a question
Or if
about
you-
anything. It could be about what I've eaten. Oh, there we go.
What happened to Hex on the Games Spawn Point?
Well, at the start of the year, Hex and Nick, 2 of our hosts, got approached by Channel 7 to do a new show over there. And they've been working on the show for quite a while, and they wanted to change, so they decided to go do the show for Channel 7. Sadly for us, the ABC looked at everything, and it was all very sudden, and they decided to end our adult show. And that was very, very sad for all of us, but we're also very proud of having an amazing 10-year run on a show, which is an amazing thing to have on any TV show. Going for longer than 1 season on anything is amazing. So that's what happened to Hex and Nick. They're over there, but we're still doing Spawn Point, and we absolutely love it.
And it has
such
actually
a joy.
meant we've got a lot more resources to make Spawn Point instead of having to split it between 2 shows. So we're having a lot more fun being able to send crews out and do extra stories with Rad. We've got a few more random Darren segments which are coming out, which are a nightmare to work with him, but it's always good fun. And so, like a good nightmare, like one of those ones that you're happy you wake up from.
Like a good nightmare. Darren's very difficult. Darren is a very demanding robot.
Very demanding. So yeah, means we can have a lot more fun with it at this stage, which is what we're doing. So that is that question there. Next question, down the front here. Hello, young sir.
Will you review Undertale for PS4?
I heard when
You said will we or when will we? Will we?
when or like
Well, I suppose they're both the same.
oh will
Will
we?
you?
Yeah, we
Yes.
talked about this. I think we will because I reviewed it originally on the big show on Good Game.
Yeah, I think Brad and I are going to do it because I've played Undertale, but I never finished it, and you're the same, right, Brad?
I haven't played
I
it.
haven't played it all. Yeah, so I think we're going to play it, and then we'll talk to you about it. That'll be good fun.
It's got some seriously die-hard fans, Undertale. People love it, and
I need to play it.
I really enjoyed it, but I didn't play it right, apparently. You've got to replay it numerous times, so people
Yeah.
got a bit upset with me. I will say, I since went and bought the soundtrack on vinyl, because that's the most hipster thing you can do. And it's one of the best soundtracks out there as well.
If you haven't heard of Undertale, it's actually a really interesting and important game. And there's a beautiful podcast called Imaginary Worlds. It's one of my favorite podcasts, and they did one just on Undertale, and I highly recommend listening to that. And just that podcast in general. It's fantastic. It's all about the worlds that we create and why we suspend our disbelief in those worlds.
Cool. Next question.
We have Ash down the front.
My question is there going on? Is there a boss in the Netherworld?
Is there a boss in the Neverworld? I assume you're referring that's into Minecraft is in the underworld.
Is there a boss in the netherworld of Minecraft?
Well, there's the
Ender Dragon.
There's the Ender Dragon.
End, but that's the end.
That's in the end.
I mean, there's the giant dragon, the Ender Dragon, which I've only faced once, and I did it with the help of someone at work.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should be admitting this to people, but I did not do well. So there is a giant boss that you have to face, like any good game, right at the end. They're rather tricky, but I assume you have not got up to it yet.
I think there's just tough enemies. There's also tough enemies in there, tough things to fight, but I don't think there's actually a big boss in there. I could be wrong.
You have a challenge ahead of you, is what we're saying.
I like your Pokeball wristy misty thing.
The things you find. Is Darren a diva?
Is Darren a diva? Oh, totally. Yeah, Darren.
Absolutely.
Darren demands so much from all of us. Really. What are some of Darren's demands? I mean, he always needs
Screen time?
He always needs lots of screen time. Needs his
He
own
always
segments.
needs to be highly polished.
Lots of polish.
He wants an oil change like every
Constant oil.
week.
Why is he even using oil? He's a robot.
I don't know.
The most annoying thing is his enunciation of words.
Oh yeah, Darren always thinks he's saying the words the right way, and it's always wrong.
And he really, this is genuine, he really thinks he's being like clever when he does this, and it rubs us all the wrong way. And we get kids writing in all the time saying he pronounced it wrong.
I always think Darren's doing it on purpose.
He totally is. It drives me bonkers. But yes, so he is a total diva, but we love him at the same time.
A lovable diva.
We got any questions up the? We've got
some hands up the back,
Hands
but
up
I don't
the back.
know where
I
the
can't see.
microphone
we're
Oh, there we go.
right now. Hello.
Any Minecraft games coming out soon?
Are there any Minecraft games coming out? Well, Minecraft is always updating. You know, Minecraft is always getting patches and getting new things put into it. So Minecraft, I don't know if we'll ever get a Minecraft 2, or not in the foreseeable future, because they're always adding new content to it. But there are lots of great Minecraft-esque games. Lots of games like Minecraft coming out, such as Portal Knights. What else was there this year?
I mean, everyone's playing Roblox as well.
Roblox is very, very popular.
Terraria is just a good go-to.
Terraria,
And
Starbound.
There's
we
also
love
a lot of like custom maps and things like that people make.
Custom game modes as well, right?
Game modes and maps and stuff, which makes it feel like there's more games, I suppose, in a way. But yeah, I don't think that we're going to get another Minecraft 2 for a while.
I think Minecraft is enough for a lot of people. Do you play Minecraft? Yeah. Do you need another Minecraft, or are you happy with just that one? It's a loaded question. I give that. She's like, I don't know.
She's like, well, I wouldn't say no to another
Gave
one.
me a look like, I ask you the questions, mate. I was like, sorry, okay.
It's just amazing that Minecraft has become a genre. Like, it was a game, and when it first came out, it was so directionless. We were like, what is even this game? We're building stuff? No one's going to be into that. And then suddenly it's become a genre. Like, there's so many games that are copying it, and it's fine. Like, you don't even go, oh, this is a Minecraft clone anymore. You're like, oh, it's just another game in the Minecraft genre.
Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery.
That's true.
Or they're just
Next
ripping it off. Next question. Right at the back. Hello.
So we have a group question that we've been wondering for quite a long time. But is Darren real?
Of course.
Darren is eternal. Darren is as real as your heart believes he is.
He is really real. And
Darren is very real.
And I sounded really pained when I talked about him before, but I can't fake that pain. I can't fake that inter-office working with the most stubborn but delightfully knowledgeable unit of knowledge, and he is very real, and I wouldn't be talking like this if we were making him up.
Maybe he's just a really strong figment of all of our imaginations.
Well,
I got deep for a Sunday.
Whoa.
So yes, he's very real. Next question. Couple of hands. We've got a mic running around there.
wave your hand if you've got a question.
If not, just put your hand up to troll them and see if they run towards you, and then put your hand back
No,
down.
that's not fair.
Yeah, don't do that, actually. Hello there.
Hi.
You had a balloon, so you had an advantage. What's your question?
Why did you choose a robot in your show?
Why did we choose? I think Darren chose
chose
us.
us, yeah.
We didn't get to choose Darren. He just rocked up and said, "We're doing this, mate. We are making a show about games." We didn't get to choose.
I'm not sure if he had to go through an audition process or not.
There was, to answer your question, there was a really strange moment the first time he joined. The balloon is gone. You now know, you get no question now. I'm so sorry. The first episode with Darren, if you can go all the way back, and he's so distracted by the balloon right now.
I'm distracted by the balloon. I'm like, are they going to be able to get
The
us
first
down?
episode with Darren, if you can find it, is really weird because Darren doesn't really talk and he doesn't sit in between. He was too nervous, so he's in the back left corner, and I believe it's you and Hex are talking, and he'd look to the corner and he just would turn his head and go. It's really scary, but then we learnt under his steel cold external shell is a steel cold internal heart.
The thermonuclear device.
And we've learned to love him, and we think he likes us back.